Latest in Greyhound Fieldnotes, digital sovereignty strategy for a European industrial conglomerate. For the uninitiated, Greyhound Fieldnotes are insights based on advisory engagements that Greyhound Research delivers to enterprise clients across the globe, capturing the technology and business decisions leaders are making in real time. The client: country, Germany. Industry vertical: heavy industrial manufacturing and energy infrastructure. Roles: Group CIO, with participation from Group General Counsel and Chief Risk Officer. Engagement type: confidential advisory workshop ahead of multi-cloud migration board approval. Company size: 4 to 5 billion euros in annual revenue. Operations across DACH, Benelux, and Northern Europe. Technology budget: EST 120 to 150 million euros annually. Topic of inquiry: how to operationalize digital sovereignty in a cloud-native EU enterprise without triggering excessive complexity or vendor lock-in. The inquiry: as an EU-headquartered firm, we're expected to already be sovereign compliant, but those lines are blurring fast. If we expand our AI, ops, and telemetry to hyperscalers, can we really claim operational sovereignty? Our regulators say yes, but our investors aren't so sure. Where should we draw the line between policy adherence and actual control? This wasn't just a compliance query. It was a strategic tension point between what policy permits and what stakeholders perceive as safe. The CIO was balancing legal sufficiency against public trust, and the debate wasn't about deployment architecture. It was about safeguarding enterprise autonomy amid deepening digital interdependence. Greyhound Standpoint. Greyhound Research sees this inquiry as part of a broader European shift where digital sovereignty is no longer treated as just a regulatory mandate, but as a reputational anchor and commercial precondition. For large EU enterprises operating across borders, adhering to Brussels is no longer enough. There is now pressure to prove sovereignty in practice, not just in documentation. According to the Greyhound CIO Pulse 2025, 63% of European CIOs say that digital sovereignty has become an investor expectation issue, not just a compliance checkbox. In many boardrooms, the debate has moved from what's legal to what's defensible in front of customers, regulators, and partners. Notes from another Greyhound Fieldnote confirm this shift. A Dutch maritime logistics operator recently suspended its generative AI rollout after discovering its vendor's model pipeline couldn't guarantee data boundary enforcement within EA-only zones. While not technically non-compliant, it sparked concern among the board's ESG subcommittee. Insights drawn from separate Greyhound Fieldnote echo this concern. A Nordic energy company was forced to renegotiate its contract with a cloud-native OT platform after local grid operators raised concerns about telemetry sovereignty during a stakeholder audit. Sovereignty became a precondition for maintaining regulatory goodwill, not just contractual hygiene. Greyhound Advisory. At Greyhound Research, we believe digital sovereignty in Europe has moved beyond regulatory compliance. It is now a strategic trust framework, a lever for enterprise resilience, and increasingly, a prerequisite for market eligibility. Our guidance to CXOs is fivefold. 1. Disaggregate regulatory compliance from stakeholder expectations. What passes muster legally may not be sufficient reputationally. Treat both as distinct risk vectors. 2. Create a sovereignty ledger. Document every workload's jurisdictional footprint, data flows, and cloud stack dependencies. Sovereignty must be auditable in real time. 3. Treat AI model pipelines as sovereign assets. From training data to inference compute, every element of the AI lifecycle must be jurisdictionally understood and contractually mapped. 4. Make sovereignty part of ESG. Investors increasingly view digital control as a governance pillar, included in board disclosures and sustainability reports. 5. Challenge vendor certifications. Don't rely solely on CSP self-claims. Build your own sovereignty benchmarks using third-party audits, legal stress testing, and scenario modeling. Digital sovereignty in 2025 is not a defensive position. It's an assertive design principle. And for Europe's industrial backbone, it may soon determine who qualifies to build critical infrastructure and who's excluded from the table. If this sounds familiar, if this is a conversation already happening in your boardroom, or one that's been circling without resolution, let's talk. We at Greyhound Research are advising technology leaders across Europe on how to navigate this convergence of legal clarity, operational independence, and investor scrutiny. Reach out if you'd like to explore what a confident, scalable sovereignty framework could look like for your enterprise. Or simply share this note with a peer, client, or partner who needs to be in this conversation. These aren't just architecture decisions anymore. They're decisions about reputation, governance, and who gets to lead in a digitally contested continent. Analyst in focus, Sanchit Gogia. Sanchit Gogia, or SVG as he is popularly known, is a globally recognized technology analyst, innovation strategist, digital consultant, and board advisor. SVG is the chief analyst, founder and CEO of Greyhound Research, a global, award-winning technology research, advisory, consulting, and education firm. Greyhound Research works closely with global organizations, their CXOs, and the board of directors on technology and digital transformation decisions. SVG is also the founder and CEO of the House of Greyhound, an eclectic venture focusing on interdisciplinary innovation. Copyright policy. All content contained on the Greyhound Research website is protected by copyright law and may not be reproduced, distributed, transmitted, displayed, published, or broadcast without the prior written permission of Greyhound Research or, in the case of third-party materials, the prior written consent of the copyright owner of that content. You may not alter, delete, obscure, or conceal any trademark, copyright, or other notice appearing in any Greyhound Research content. We request our readers not to copy Greyhound Research content and not republish or redistribute them, in whole or partially, via emails or republishing them in any media, including websites, newsletters, or intranets. We understand that you may want to share this content with others, so we've added tools under each content piece that allow you to share the content. If you have any questions, please get in touch with our community relations team at connect@thofker.com.